good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Make it good. And how are we going to do that? Today is Thankful Thursday. I am Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker. And today is, as I said, Thankful Thursday, and we are going to talk about gratitude. Gratitude is many things. Gratitude is a feeling, gratitude is a state of mind, gratitude is also a tool. It's a tool that you can use to shift your mindset at any given point in time. I encourage people and try to remember myself to begin each day with gratitude, thinking of two or three things that I'm grateful for, even before I'm fully awake and I get out of bed. I try to start there. Start with gratitude because it immediately, good morning, Kimberly, it immediately shifts the mindset. When you're focusing on what you're grateful for, you're focusing on what you have versus what you don't. You're focused on what is going well. You're focused on the gifts of life. You're focused on abundance versus lack. And when you're in that mindset, immediately you'll start to feel better. You'll start to have a different attitude. You began your day from a place of positivity and focused on the things that you are most grateful for. It's a tool. That tool adjusts the mind and it adjusts how you're feeling. So just try it. I try to start my day with gratitude and I try to end my day as I'm drifting off to sleep, thinking about, the best things that happened to me that day, or two or three things that I'm grateful for. I'm trying to adjust this thing, excuse me. And in doing that, I'm beginning and ending, I'm bookending my day, regardless of what happened, with the best of that day, the best experiences that I've had in my life, the things, the people that I'm most appreciative of or most grateful for. And you'll start to feel a shift in your body right away. You're focused on what you want more of, what you have versus what you don't. And what we focus on is what we bring about. So take a look at what's going on around you. And even if life is difficult, especially when life is difficult, gratitude is such an important aspect of your day, of your life. Because if you decide, and just think about that word decide, it's a choice. We have a choice in how we decide to look at anything. So if you make the choice to look for the gift, to look for the learning. Somebody is saying, I'm having trouble finding the daily links for your live. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can help her. If you, let me see, just go to my page. What's happening right now? Give me just 1 second. I had not seen her in a while. All right, so maybe that'll get her going. All right. So what I was saying was, excuse me for my loss of focus. What I was saying is that when you make the decision, when you make the choice to live your life from a place of gratitude, it doesn't necessarily change externally what's happening around you, but it will change internally how you're processing those things, what you're getting out of it. Life is still going to happen, things are still going to go awry at times, but if you're coming from a place of gratitude and if you are using a positive mindset and you're focused, it'll allow you to immediately start to think about the solution instead of being weighed down and pushed down and held back by the emotional experience of what's going on. Feel your feelings. It's okay to feel your feelings. I encourage it because I want us to be coming from a place of truth, a place that, because then you can maintain it. If you're just pretending that everything's good and not feeling your feelings and not actually going through the process, then that won't last. That won't last. You actually won't believe yourself, and it's not authentic. But if you can say to yourself, despite what I'm seeing right now, despite what's going on around me, I know it's going to be okay. I love the song from Bob Marley, Every Little Thing's Gonna Be All Right. You may have seen it on my, we were just in Jamaica and the band played that one night, and me and my husband cut up. We had a great time to that song. But at the same time, that was a song that he played for his mom. And his mom was passing from cancer. And while we were going through that process, he played that song for her all the time, and she would hum and sing along, and she believed that, and she carried that with her, and she left the legacy of that with her children and with those of us who had the pleasure of being in her light while she was here. She lived. Everything is going to be all right. She believed in a higher power. She had a serious, a strong relationship with God. And she had a strong relationship with her family and with those around her. And she was an encourager. Even when she was the one who was struggling, she was able to encourage those around her. And the way she lived her life and the way she transitioned from this life to the next, she exemplified gratitude the entire process. And we watched it in awe. Of course, we watched it from a place of grief because we had to let go of the physical presence of someone who was such an impact in our lives. But at the same time, she made such a huge impact. And it wasn't what she said, it was how she lived. She was always prayerful. She was always kind. She was always lifting other people up. And she was able to do that because her cup stayed full. She stayed focused on the good stuff. She stayed focused on and believed that every little thing was going to be all right. And so gratitude is such a big part of my life. I've seen it play out, I've seen it be effective. I've seen the opposite of it. When you focus on the things that you don't have, if you focus on what's not going well, if you focus on the problem, you have just the opposite effect. You're depressed, you may be angry, overwhelmed, frustrated. It's difficult to interact with you because you may blow at any moment. So people have to walk on eggshells around you because just the wrong thing processed through your lens and boom, So when you're operating from some other place, that place of lack, that place of here's everything that's ever gone wrong in my life and it's everybody else's fault. When you're operating from a place like that, the opposite of gratitude, you have the opposite effect and you generate the opposite in your relationship. So they become strained. So gratitude shows up in so many different ways. It shows up in how you feel. It shows up in how you see the world. It shows up in how you interact with other people. And it also will show up in how and what you attract to yourself. What we're focused on is what we put our energy into, and what we put our energy and focus into is what we bring about. I believe that wholeheartedly. So if I'm focused on what's going wrong, I'm going to have more of that because that's all I'm able to see. For some people that just seems so far-fetched, or like people believe that you're creating some sort of magic. No, go buy a red car and see how many red cars you see after that. It's present in your mind now. It's you're focused on it. So even though you're trying to buy something that everybody else doesn't have, you want to be a little unique. As soon as you get it, you see it everywhere. and you didn't see that car before. Are there more of those cars on the road? No. Your focus has changed because you brought that car into your experience. It's in the forefront of your mind. So now when it goes by, you notice it. Gratitude is no different. Gratitude becomes that thing that you're holding close. It becomes that place that you're operating from. So you're grateful for the things that you have. So you see more of that. You notice more of the goodness around you. You may notice how beautiful the world is, even though it's the same, you're walking into the same house, the same stores, the same job, experience walking the same path. You experience it differently because your focus is different. So maybe instead of noticing the crack in the sidewalk, you actually see how nicely manicured the shrubs are. Just an example. Nothing has changed except for your focus. So I'm not talking about magic. I'm not talking about some parlor trick. I'm talking about making the choice to shift your mindset so that you notice what's good. You notice what's working. You notice the goodness around you. And when you do that, you're going to keep seeing more and more of that. Focus on your problems. Focus on what's not working. Focus on what you don't have. And you're going to continue to notice more and more and more of that. And that's what you're going to attract to you. That's the magic. That's the part that people struggle with. But just pay attention. What do you see? How do you process what's happening in your life? How do you interact with other people? There have to be people in your lives that have held you up. There have to be people in your lives that have affected you. Have you told them genuinely? It's one thing to keep somebody near because you know that you're going to need them. It's another thing to create a genuine relationship with somebody because you care about the person, not about what that person can do for you or how they affect you. Where is your focus? Focus on what's well and you'll be well. There will be more of that because you're going to notice it. So last night I was working on an acrostic. Those are my favorite things. And most of you, I'm sure, know this, but I'll say it anyway. An acrostic is just when you take a word, you write it down the side of your paper, one letter below the other, and you come up with words or phrases that start with each letter of the word. And so I was working with gratitude last night. I had some help, but I was working with gratitude last night, and I've got it written down the side of the paper. And the G is for give thanks. Give thanks. Give thanks and focus on what it is that you have. The R is for reflecting. Reflect on how far you've come. It is easy for us to see that we're not where we would like to be. But if you just stop for a moment and shift that perspective and look at where you were a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, for the most of us, you're going to see progression. You may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you were either. You have made progress. You just have to choose to see it. The A is for appreciation, appreciating the goodness around you. What does that mean? That means you're present. You're not focused on what was, you're not focused on what may be. You're living in the present moment and appreciating what's there and going on around you right then and there. The T, taking time to express gratitude, taking time to internally think about what you're appreciative of every day, taking time to articulate to the people in your life who have been good to you and letting them know the impact that they've had, expressing it. Gratitude is one of those things that the more you give it, the more you're going to have. So you don't have to hold on to it. It's not that useful. if it's unused, if it's unexpressed. So let the people that have impacted you, let the people that have supported you, the people who lift, and I don't mean just like financial support and things like that. There are people around who believe in you. There are people around who are going to give you a hand clap or a word of encouragement when you're feeling down. Let those people know how valuable that they are to you. Take the time to express that gratitude. The I in gratitude, inviting joy and contentment into your life. Make that invitation. You can invite sadness, you can invite frustration, you can invite overwhelm just by what it is that you're focused on. So that means you can do the opposite. You can invite joy, you can invite contentment, you can invite happiness, you can invite restful, peaceful experiences into your space just by focusing on the things that we've been talking about. Focusing on what you have versus what you don't have. Focus on what brings you joy and remembering those experiences. If you think about what's the time in my life when I was most at peace, most content, most joyful, and then just sit and rest in that experience and allow yourself to feel the emotion of that experience as if it was happening all over again. And once you've got into the habit of recalling your emotions, we recall our negative emotions all the time. All we have to do is start to recant a story of something bad that happened. Excuse me, I am still a little under the weather and I'm fighting through something. But as you can see, I'm not letting it hold me back. So you can invite that joy and that contentment just by focusing on when you had that experience in the past. Do you remember the first time you held your baby? Do you remember the first date or your wedding day? Do you remember when you closed on that you're home or when something, just something great, your kid graduating, you graduating, accomplishing something that was really important to you? Just think about those things. And don't just think about it with your mind, but allow yourself to feel that feeling all over again. And when you do that, you shift into a place of gratitude and you learn how to pull that out and relive those experiences to reset yourself when things are going awry. You can reset yourself at any point in time. Good morning, Lachelle. Hello. Let's see who else did I miss? Sonia, and I'm gonna butcher your name, but it looks like Shahadul. And you'll have to tell me because I see you're on LinkedIn. Hopefully, we'll be in the same audio room at some point, and you can tell me the right pronunciation of your name because that's important to me. I love to get people's names right, but this old Texas tongue makes it hard sometimes. So we've gotten up to the I, inviting joy and contentment into our lives. The T, treasuring moments, both big and small. And we've kind of covered that when I talked about even remembering those moments and pulling the emotion and allowing yourself to relive that experience. But what about what's happening right now? What about just the fact that some folks have come on and said good morning and they're interacting with me? That's happening in the present moment. And I'm grateful for that. Maisha, you found me. Good morning, chick. I was wondering where you've been. I noticed that I have not connected or seen you on any of the events lately. So it looks like you found it on YouTube. But it's live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, where else? TikTok, basically everywhere. So I'm not sure why aren't able to, you were having trouble finding me, but I'm here, I'm back. I was on vacation for a week. So I just got back and started the lives again on Tuesday. So we are back connected and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, just being in the moment and taking a moment to look at what's happening around you and finding what's good in that. We can do it. It's a choice. You can choose to look at what's working well, you can choose to look at what's not. And that choice has a repercussion. It's going to adjust and affect how you feel. It's going to adjust and affect how you show up in the world, how you interact with other people. It even affects your physical body When you're coming from a place of gratitude, it calms you down. That can affect your blood pressure. You calm yourself down, headaches go away. There are physical, there's lots of studies that have been done that shows the physical effects of having a gratitude practice or operating from a place of gratitude. So that's the T, treasuring moments, both big and small. The U, understanding that there's something to be gained from every situation. When you're in the thick of it, it's hard to realize that because something's going on, you're not enjoying or not happy, or you're having a difficult experience. I talked about my mother in law a little while ago. There's no way in the thick of that we were feeling much beyond grief and sadness and things like that. But what she left, even from those final moments, was a legacy of not only how to live, but how to die, how to maintain your connection with your higher power, how to be loving to your children, even when you're having to physically let go. We can look back on those moments with her, those last moments. We can look back over our entire life with her, but those last moments, as difficult as they were, she taught us so much, and she left such a positive experience, even in the midst of the grief. So, yeah, even in a situation as difficult as losing somebody that you love, you can gain something from that situation. And I'll take it a step farther. I think for me personally, when I choose to see what I'm gaining, I give honor to her and to that experience, and to my husband and my sibling in laws and everybody who went through it. We honor what it was that we all went through, and we choose to see it through her eyes, and how she taught us to process, and who she taught us to lean on when things are not going as we would like. If we had a magic wand, we would have done just the opposite of what she really wanted us to do. We would have kept her here because we loved her so much, and we still do. It's not a past tense thing. The love doesn't go away. So we would have kept her right here and close, and we would have did the best that we could do to take care of her. But we wouldn't have. She was ready for her next adventure. She was ready for her reward. We can literally see her resting in God's presence, because that's the life she lived. That's the legacy that she left, and she didn't go from present to to some darkness. There was light all around her the entire experience, and we got to be a part of that because of who she was and because of how deep her spiritual connection was. She taught us in the midst of giving up the physical presence that we wanted so much. And so that's just one example of how, even when something really really difficult is going on, there you can gain something. So the you is understanding that there's something to be gained from every situation. The things that have been difficult in your life, I know when you look at them and you think about them, and those the old emotions come back up, that's all valid. All I'm saying is, if you can make a little bit of a shift and think about, even if it's just the fact that you got through it and you're still standing, you're still doing the things that you need to do. That shows your strength, shows your resilience. It shows what you're made of, and that despite difficulties, you can keep going. What can you do with that? You can pull it out the next time something difficult comes up. And instead of being so overwhelmed by it, you can say, I know that I can do hard stuff. I know that I can get through this. My life has taught me that I'm going to be okay, because I keep moving forward despite the things that have jumped up and jumped at me along the way. I've survived them all. I've more than survived. I'm thriving. I've come through those situations. You have to speak life. You have to choose to speak life over you, and remind yourself of who you are and how far you've come and what you've thrived through. And let that be an encouragement to yourself the next time something comes up. So, you understanding that there is something to be gained from every situation. The D, deepening our connections through gratitude. Have you ever had somebody just genuinely come up and tell you that they appreciate you? Doesn't that feel great? You know that there's nothing on the other end of it. They're not about to ask you for anything. They're not playing with your emotions. They are genuinely appreciative of you as a person, you, the individual. There's a few people in my life that I know without a shadow of a doubt that they appreciate me. And those people are important to me. And I appreciate them and the light that they bring into my space. So it deepens the connections when you know that outside of stuff and things and all of that, that you've got a real relationship with somebody, that they value you, the person. That's hard for me to come by. But when I have it, just imagine how tight I want to hold on to that relationship. That relationship is invaluable to me. So it deepens. It's coming from a place of genuine care, concern, and appreciation. And there's usually reciprocity there. It's a symbiotic relationship. I lift you, you lift me. It's awesome. Those relationships are deepened through those experiences and those expressions of love and gratitude. They keep those relationships continue to grow. And then the E, embracing gratitude. And by embracing it, I mean actively choosing it. We are not victims of our circumstances at the same level that we think we are. We have more control than we realize that we do. So when we realize that we can shift our experiences, not necessarily change externally what's happening, but shift how we're experiencing what is happening by focusing on what we're grateful for and using gratitude as a tool, actively choosing it, you're actually choosing the best for yourself. You're choosing health. You're choosing relationship. You're choosing joy. You're choosing contentment. So, gratitude helps you to make and recreate and expand those experiences just by slightly shifting your focus. So, let's go through the whole acrostic from top to bottom. G, giving thanks, focusing on what you have. R, reflecting on how far you've come. A, appreciating the goodness around you, being present. T, taking time to express gratitude for yourself and for others. I, inviting joy and contentment into your life. T, treasuring your moments, the big ones as well as the small ones. U, understanding that there's something to be gained from every situation. D, deepening our connections and our relationships through gratitude. And E, embracing gratitude by actively choosing it, making the choice of gratitude. So that's the acrostic. That's what I wanted to share with you, great folks, today on gratitude. I thank you all for joining and being with me today, wherever you are in the world. I'm sure it's night for some of you guys, but I'm Cassandra Terry, your manifest. I'm about to sign off for today. We'll be back tomorrow, Friday. On Fridays, we talk about focus. Focus is a huge topic. Again, it's another tool, and more than shifting how you're feeling and how you're experiencing the world, focus we use as a tool to actually accomplish the things that are important to us. So that's what we'll talk about tomorrow, same time, 7:15 a.m. Central. In the meantime, you guys can take my free course. It's Transforming Your Inner Critic into Your Inner Advocate. It's attached as a link to most of the social media sites. It's in my profile and things like that. So you should be able to find it. But if you have any trouble, just reach out to me, shoot me a DM with your email address, and I'll get it right over to you. It takes about 20-30 minutes to get through. It's just a mini course that introduces me as a coach and what I focus on in my mindset work. So it's transforming your inner critic into your inner advocate. It's all about going inside and focusing on you and how you think and what you think about and what you put your energy into. And it helps you to begin the process of rewriting those scripts that are automatically playing in our heads that hold us back. So that's what I'm here for. The problem that I want to use my life to solve is the problem of our internal warfare, that negative messaging that's playing all the time, that gets in our way and stands between us and the life that we would like to accomplish. So the free course is a way for you to try it out and to really get an understanding of who I am as a coach, and the fundamental principles that I share. So I hope you guys will take part in that. I look forward to hearing your feedback. So do that at your convenience and get back with me. Let me know what that experience is like for you. The feedback only helps me to get better. So with that, we are going to wrap up our Thankful Thursday, and I look forward to connecting with you guys tomorrow for Focus Friday. We are almost there. It is almost the end of another week, and we'll hone in tomorrow on focus and how it can help us achieve the things that we would like to set out and achieve in our lives. So, all right, with that, you guys have a wonderful, thankful Thursday. Choose gratitude with throughout your day. Think about what you're grateful for. And if you've got a moment, drop us a comment. Let us know. You may as well start right now. Just drop a comment about what you're grateful for in the present moment, in the past, what you're looking forward to. And then when you end your day today, as you're going to sleep, think about what was the best thing that happened to me today. Allow that to be one of your final thoughts as you're drifting off to sleep, so that even as you rest, you're resting in a place of gratitude. And watch how good you sleep and what sweet dreams you have. All right, Cassandra Terry, see you guys tomorrow for Focus Friday. Thank you for joining.